What's up everybody, my name is Timo and thanks for tuning in on this beautiful Saturday night. Today we're talking about vintage lenses and one lens in particular which holds a very special meaning to myself personally, the Helios 44M4. Helios 44 was manufactured in USSR, the Soviet Russia, the home of the big red machine. If you're a hockey person, you know what I'm talking about. It was produced from 1958 to 1992 in various versions which differ only a little bit from each other. And this beauty here is one of the most manufactured lenses in the universe. Yes, this was made in millions and that is the reason that it's so accessible today. If your folks back in the 1980s or 1990s didn't have this lens with a Zenit camera, your folks knew someone who had that combination, or they at least had heard of someone that had the combination of Zenit camera and this kit lens, the Helios 44 that came with it. That is how popular it was, especially around Europe. It is actually so popular that you might even own one without knowing about it, so go check your attics and raid your mom's place and father's boxes and everything. He might actually have one. And this is the main reason that this lens is so accessible and it comes with a cheap price today. Back in the 50s, the Russians wanted to create their own version of the German Carl Zeiss Biotar, also a 58mm f2 lens with a M42 mount, but they didn't get it exactly right. Helios 44 has an optical design flaw which is causing the exact thing that makes this lens so unique: the swirly bokeh. The swirly bokeh is that beautiful effect you saw in the beginning of this vid on that coffee b-roll segment. And the best way to explain it to you guys is to look some photographs where it appears beautifully. So let's go and do that. Huh? Ain't that dope? You either love it or then you hate it. And I most certainly love it. With a full frame camera it looks even better because you get more of those beautiful edges and even more of that optical vignette around the edges, but you can still manage it with a crop frame sensor like my Canon EOS 80D, in which I shot the previous shots and the b-roll in the beginning of this vid. And besides, with the crop sensor camera you actually win a bit because more of the frame is sharp, because this lens tends to be sharp more in the middle and more mushy and, you know, unsharp in the edges. But full frame, crop frame, you win both ways. The beautiful effect comes with a cost of shallow depth of field, especially when shooting wide open at f2, but you can work your way around this by stopping the lens up to f2.8 or to f4. You won't be losing much of that beauty in that bokeh, don't worry about that. The build of this lens is like of a tank. It is a solid piece of metal and glass with absolutely no electronics or plastics whatsoever. Filter thread is metal, focus ring is metal, aperture ring is metal. I like that sound, it clicks, click. Ooh, I just love that. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised even if the lenses were thin sheets of metal. That is how sturdy this baby is. If this little fella would have a pin in it, it could actually be mistaken for a hand grenade because, well, look at it, it kind of looks like one, doesn't it? Sturdy, metal, and, you know, pull out and then it goes like the holy hand grenade of Krasnogorsk. I shoot mainly all of my b-roll with this because it's just amazing. I love the vintage look that it brings to my footage and to my vids and to my b-roll and to my everything, and Also, if you're used to the lightweight Nifty 50 of Canon or Nikon, the weight of this baby might come as a surprise because at 250 grams or half a pound, is it a half a pound? Yeah, I believe it's half a pound. It is a sturdy and heavy built little piece of metal. And this lens is completely manual with no electronics whatsoever, so you are in full control of the focus and the aperture. With its shallow depth of field and the manual focus, it is a handful, especially if you're just starting out. But once you get a hang of it, you have learned so much about photography and your camera and patience without even noticing it. And have your friends go like, what is that effect? How did you do that? Did you do that in Photoshop? Is that Lightroom? Is that a preset? How can I get it? And then you can go like, Helios magic. So at this point you might be asking that how much all this fun will cost. Well, like I said earlier, this lens and all its versions and variations are the most manufactured lens in the history of photography and heck in the entire universe, so they are highly affordable and highly accessible. For less than 50 bucks you will get a good condition Helios 44 that will serve you for years, maybe even decades more. Just take a look at this. This is a 30-year-old piece of glass and it's still working beautifully, and I shoot all my B-roll with this, so can't go wrong with one, can you? But of course you can't just go on and screw this M42 mount lens on your modern DSLR. Well, you can try, but don't hold me responsible for the damage. To use these lenses you will need one of these. Now this is a very simple metallic ring. I recommend to get a metallic one because the lens is metal and the mount of your camera is most likely metal, so it would feel kind of awkward to put a plastic ring there in between of it. These things cost maybe 5 or 10 bucks on Amazon. I will link them down below so you will get a hang of it very quickly. And sometimes these are sold in bundles when these lenses are sold, and they include the adapter in the final price of the lens itself. So that is kind of nice. So how does this all work? You just take the lens and the adapter and you screw the adapter into the M42 mount. And now just make sure that this little pin gets pressed down with the adapter ring, so you will get the control of the aperture ring. And boom, you're good to go. So if you're interested in vintage lenses, give this one a try. You will be amazed with the results. I know that because I was. And at the same time you will learn so much more about your camera, so much more about patience, and so much more about planning out the shot. And when you nail the shot with a manual lens for the first time, it's like... because with this you can't just flip on the autofocus and the high-speed serial shot mode and be like... shoot 1,000 frames per second like with a Kalashnikov. That's all I have for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the little introduction of this Helios 44M4. Hit the like button if you like this bit, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you happen to own one of these, drop a comment down below and let me know how you use it. Do you use it on a daily basis, or is it just for special occasions, or do you just like it because of the bokeh, or let me know what you think about it. Otherwise, thanks as always for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next vid. Bye. Nighttime. Daytime! Nighttime! Daytime! Nighttime! Daytime!